Welcome to the Ministry of History. I am your host, Gane. One of the things we want to discuss tonight is living history dying? What are your thoughts on this? But first, we want to take a look at some of the events that we've attended so far this summer. So here's some clips. First up is the Fort Frederick Market Fair. It's an 18th century based event, but it can extend into other eras depending on what you're looking for. It's an excellent opportunity to purchase goods that aren't normally offered. Some of these vendors have been around since the 1970s, along with newer vendors, and a good many of them carry some of the most authentic goods that have never really been on the market. One of the coolest things that I found while I was there was material at an amazing price. I started buying a little bit, and then I asked him what he wanted for the rest of it. Turns out I ended up getting it for a song. So, I highly recommend you go and check out Fort Frederick whenever you get a chance. This past May, we ended up taking a trip down to Fort Shenandoah for the N-SSA national competition. The North-South Skirmish Association had its 137th semi-annual rifle and cannon competition. Despite the weather, which was wet, a good number of people decided to attend and compete. Saw some great pricing on some stuff as well, which I ended up spending some money, of course. Today we live in the information age. With that, there's research just a click away. However, is all that research right? Remember this picture? We thought it was Confederates on the way to Antietam in 1862. The only picture that we know of Confederates on campaign. Guess what? All wrong. This picture was taken 2 years later and on a different street completely. When I first heard about this information, I had a lot of thoughts about it. I want to know, what do you think about it? 2 whole years. Completely different street. Click on the article down below. You can read for yourself. So apparently, during an utility line excavation in Manassas, Virginia, human bones were found. They happened to find a surgeon's limb pit. In this pit, they found up to what seems to be 11 soldiers' limbs. But they found 2 bodies in there as well. In 2014, they found these limbs. In 2016, we got more information. Now, they've released this information, and it turns out that these were 2 New York soldiers that were buried in the pit as well. According to reports, there's going to be burial services sometime this summer at a new section of Arlington National Cemetery. Check out the link to the article below for more details. Let's get down to the real issue here. Is reenacting dying? Well, is it? There's been a lot of talk since before the 150th anniversary events as to the future of the hobby. The New York Times just recently posted the exact same question. Since the horrible tragedy in South Carolina in 2015, there's been a lot of social and political conversations in regards to Confederate flags, Confederate monuments, and history in general. As a result, we've seen a changed atmosphere at events as well as inside the world itself. At the beginning of July, the Gettysburg Anniversary event saw a lot of reenactors walk away disenchanted by cost as well as treatment. Will more events suffer due to cost, insurance, lack of locations that don't have restrictions? How has this new climate affected some of the more established events around the country? Take a look at Neshaminy. An event that lasted many, many years was closed down due to park restrictions and unattainable goals. One of my favorite events, Cedar Creek, was announced closed just before the 4th of July. Last year, what was thought to be a pipe bomb was found in the Sutler Row tent area and caused not only a major disruption to the entire event, but put countless people in danger. So this caused reenactor and spectators alike to stop, step back, and realize that today's political climate directly affects our reenactment hobby. And don't think that just stops at Civil War reenacting. The World War II hobby just lost its long-standing Fort Indiantown Gap event. From what I've read, it was due to reenactor neglect, inappropriate memes, safety concerns, and the fact that this is on an active military base. Across the board, we are seeing that events are struggling in the face of today's new world. Now let me ask you this. Are we creating our own demise? Look, it's our responsibility to take the love of history into the future. We've seen a lot of amazing things happen this season. For instance, a handful of progressive units have taken the initiative to hold private events on actual historical sites. We have seen the community rally together at established events, and a new generation of reenactors grab the reins and take historical accuracy to a whole new level. Old reenactor, young reenactor, veteran, fresh fish, man, woman, historian, everyone. What do you think about what we've covered here today? We would love to hear from you. Comment below and let us know. But let's keep the civil in Civil War. Thank you for tuning in today, and we look forward to seeing you at the next episode of Ministry of History. I'm your host, Gane. See you in the field.